and others. Being the best does not mean defeating or putting down others to get ahead. Rather, it means that you're always trying to improve yourself and become a better version of yourself. By doing this, you're pushing yourself to strengthen your good qualities while also weakening your bad qualities, which is similar to how you
And
nourish the
also
good dog, which is
being
our
the
good qualities, and starve the bad dog, which is our bad qualities. While all good qualities are important, the best quality, in my opinion, is truthfulness. This is because it serves as a counter to deception, which Krishna himself names as the worst quality in the previous verse that we did. Truthfulness allows you to defeat deception, which is why I believe that to be virtuous and good is to be truthful. However, all of this is not possible without Krishna, who is present everywhere, including in the goodness of the virtuous. This is why I feel that I am able to remember him wherever I see goodness, as although he is in every place, I tend to associate him with goodness.
Very nice. Excellent. Good job. Let's go. Next person, Anish.
wait, it's this page, right? Page 87.
Right.
Okay. Do I
What
read
do
everything I wrote?
whatever you wrote, yes.
Okay. My favorite game to play is basketball as well as
So
tennis.
we were discussing the last answer. Did you write the last one
Yeah,
or
I
was
did.
yeah, do the last
Um,
one?
Being good and virtuous means to always be fair and truthful, even when no one is there. And even though it looks like there's like an easy opportunity to win a game if you cheat, because Krishna is always there, you should always be truthful. And because he knows your true intentions, you should just be fair and try to win the game with your hard work, or not like any game, but anything you do, you should try to win with your hard work and like being truthful.
Good job. Very nice. So from Supreet, I heard about the good dog, bad dog. Of course, so many things I heard, but standing out point is the good dog, bad dog, how you take care of the good dog. And from Anish's, I learned that even if it's an easy opportunity to win, and if it is a wrong way, I would not choose that because that is not virtuous. Right? Thank you. We move on to Sriram.
My favorite game to play is tennis, and it feels more fun to play fairly and
Beta, I
without.
want the last answer, beta. What
Okay.
is it to be? What does being good and virtuous mean to you? That's the last one I want all of us
Okay.
to read.
Being good and virtuous means to me constantly showing these qualities despite the situation.
Despite situations, amazing. So the situations might be anything, favorable, unfavorable. Despite that, you always be good and virtuous. Okay, thank you. Tanvi,
My answer is a little bit long, so I'll like try to
that's
be
fine.
quick.
Please read long answers. I'm fine.
Okay, so I said everyone's moral compass is different. No one is born with knowledge of what goodness and virtue is, so a virtuous person in my eyes might be different from a virtuous person in the eyes of someone else. I think virtue is defined as we grow up, so I am glad I am beginning to learn this knowledge earlier on in my life. Knowing that Krishna is the goodness of a virtuous person gives me a clearer view of what virtue and my personal moral compass is because it helps me understand that a virtuous person is one that does good things as per Krishna's instructions. Knowing that Krishna is happiest with me when I am being righteous, following my moral compass, abiding to his guidelines, and choosing the choice that benefits more than just myself helps me make that choice more often when I'm faced with such decisions. As I grow up and am faced with more of these good versus bad choices in my own life, um, and have to depend on my moral compass, I can reflect on the fact that Krishna is at the heart of each of those choices, encouraging me to make the one that is more morally virtuous. When I look up to my role models for being the virtuous people they are, I know I can grow closer to Krishna by associating with them because Krishna is in the goodness of each and every one of them.
Awesome. Very nice. So, holistic answer. So just talking about how I define my virtues based on Krishna's instructions and how I try to follow them, and also associate with people who are virtuous so that I can become closer to Krishna. And one wonderful point, which I mean, standing out point is if I am virtuous, Krishna is pleased with me. He's happy with me. Nice. Okay, Sahasra.
So I wrote, to me, being good means to perform actions with kindness, integrity, and especially humility for others. Being a good person can also mean being honest in difficult situations, standing up for what you believe in, and being a member in the community that others can truly rely on. Being a virtuous person to me means one who has set high moral standards for themselves. An example can be someone who not only just reads the Bhagavad Gita, but also implements values in their daily life, forming a Krishna conscious mindset. This includes spiritual awareness, selfless service, and a detachment from material desires. To know that Krishna is present in the goodness of virtues really forms a deep connection to the way I perform actions. I'm reminded that the humble qualities of kindness, empathy, and integrity are not just mere qualities, but manifestations of Krishna himself, as he says he is present in these virtues. Aligning ourselves to these qualities indirectly aligns us to Krishna's presence. Living virtuously is one of the most wonderful ways to live, and I know this because Krishna resides in this. His presence and goodness means that every act of truthfulness, every moment of patience, and every gesture of love will ensure his contentment with his devotees.
Very nice. Sahasra's takeaway. I mean, I guess I saw something unique in her. So she's talking about selflessness, self-awareness, and detachment. Boys and girls, I'm repeating because I want to prove that I'm hearing what you all are reading, and I expect you all to listen when I'm speaking too. So she emphasized on self-awareness, selflessness, and detachment to desires. So once we are selfless, which is a very noble quality, most of the times we are selfish, we are self-centered. What is in it for me? That's the attitude of all of us. Whether you agree or not, that is instinct, that is naturally happening to all of us. But we have to grow beyond that. I was so inspired by one man in, I think, Tamil Nadu. So what he did is he started a spinning, a mill, clothing mill, where you spin the thread and make clothes, right? So as part of, I'll share the name of that person also. I was very inspired. I don't know if he's God conscious or not, but this philanthropic activity that he's doing, that aspect they didn't talk about God consciousness, but I felt like what he's doing is so helpful to the community. So what he did, he started this in a factory where he spins thread, he makes it's a thread mill, and then he makes clothes. And in the process of recruiting people, he started recruiting young girls and boys in the town and villages. So one of the girl who was recruited and was working there, she came and said, I'm working here. She's very young, not like she could have gone to college or school. She didn't go to school because of her family situation. So she approached him and said, I'm working here because I need to make money for my family. However, I want to study. I really want to study, but since I have to make money, I'm working here. So this man, being so kind, what he did, he thought this could be a common problem to many people, not only this girl. So what he did, he along with giving opportunities to her to work, he started a school right after the work time, like for 2 hours, 3 hours. He recruited teachers, and he made sure that everybody who's interested in studies and everybody who's not having the opportunity to educate themselves, they get the education. So that way, he's not depriving them of employment opportunity, but is also providing them with education opportunities. So now, so many girls go to that company to work there, at the same time equip themselves with knowledge and grow up their career, and also graduate with degrees. So I thought that's an amazing philanthropic service that we can do within our reach. He did not have to do real extend beyond his reach. It was simple stretch of his hand to provide for the needs of the people around us. So selflessness is very important. We all also have to think about how we can contribute to the society that we live in. As you grow up, as you become adults, young adults, and then become adults, you have to see, how can I make this society a better place? How can I make it better experience in terms of maybe technology, in terms of financial, in terms of just being nice to people? All three. Selflessness can come in different forms. It's not only giving out money. It's about sharing your ideas, motivating people, being kind to others. So all these things are selflessness. So I'm glad one of you have emphasized the point of selflessness. Okay, moving on to the next person, Vedang.
Being good and virtuous means being nice, be a role model, and have Krishna consciousness in you. Since supports the good side, it makes me want to be on the good side with Krishna.
Nice, very nice. Okay, now let's go to Dhatri.
Being good and virtuous means to be humble, honest, respectful, kind, understanding, trustworthy, and forgiving. It means to perform activities and act the very best I can with Krishna consciousness and have him and his virtues in both my mind and my heart. To know that Krishna is present in the goodness of the virtuous, I feel more inclined to perform my very best. This is because I want to have Krishna be present in the goodness so he can guide me to be more virtuous and be closer to me.
Awesome. Good job. Veda?
To me, being good and virtuous means to always be honest, selfless, and moral while staying Krishna conscious. When I know that Krishna is present in the goodness of virtuous, I feel more motivated to do the right thing, knowing that Krishna is there in the actions I perform.
Good. Very nice. Shloka?
To me, being good and virtuous means being truthful and fair, despite your situation, even if it means it's not in your favor.
Very nice. Again, despite the situations. It's a constant. Being virtuous should be a constant in our life. Despite the unconstant, not so what is the opposite of constant? Variables? Right? Variable, right? Despite the variable or varying situations, virtuousness is going to be constant in our life. That's the slogan for all of us. Right? 1 second. All right. So that should be our slogan. What is the slogan? Despite the situations which are varying, isn't it? We have happy situations, we have sad, we have amazing, we have depressing, we have angry, we have happy, all these dualities we have, which is always varying. Despite all these varying situations, ups and downs, the wave, the sine, what is that wave called? The sine curve goes up and down, right? Despite that, what is going to be constant? What is going to be constant, boys and girls? Shriman, what is going to be constant?
Goodness and love.
Awesome. Goodness and virtuousness. Good job. Very nice. Okay. Now, did everybody take their turns and finish up? I think Dhruv and Sriman have to read. Dhruv and Sriman, please read your answers too.
Should I start with mine or?
Yeah.
Okay. I put being good and virtuous means always doing the right thing, even though when it's hard to be virtuous, it is the right thing to do, and Krishna will award those who do the right thing always.
Good job. Very nice. Okay, now let's move on to the verse. What about Sriman? Sriman, can you tell me the answer?
So, I wrote, being good and virtuous means approaching every situation with goodness and love.
With goodness and love. Nice. It should be a little more elaborate for next time answers, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. We'll now move on to the verse of the week, which is chapter 10, verse 37. From this beautiful, amazing theme of the year, Krishna is everywhere. So, by the end of this theme, you all should be full of Krishna. Your eyes should be seeing only Krishna. The consciousness should be only about Krishna. And you should always be virtuous and good. That's the whole point of this theme, right? For us to remind us of all the places where Krishna is present and how Krishna is seeing us through those places and how we see Krishna through the knowledge that we got. Okay. So today's verse is chapter 10, verse 37. I'm going to read line by line. I will have Shloka repeat after me, and then she's going to lead and others take turns in it. Vrishninam Vasudevosmi.
Krishninaam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjayah.
Pandavanaam Dhananjayah.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Kavinam Ushana Kavihi.
Kavinam Ushana Kavi.
Good job. Go ahead.
Vrishnam Vasudevosmi.
Krishnam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaya.
Kavinam Usana Kavi.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi. Vrishnam Vasudevosmi.
Rishinam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Muninam Apyaham Vashaha.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi. Krishnam Vasudevosmi.
Rishinam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Muninam Apyaham Vasa.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi.
Kavinam Ushana Kavihi. Rishinam Vasudevosmi.
Krishnam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Kavinam Ushana Kavihi.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi. Vrishninam Vasudevosmi.
Vishninam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasa.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Kavinan Usanam Kavihi.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi. Vishninam Vasudevosmi.
Krishnam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi. Vishinam Vasudevosmi.
Krishnam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi. Krishnanam Vasudevosmi.
Krishnam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi. Krishnam Vasudevosmi.
Rishinam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasa.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasa.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi. Vishninam Vasudevosmi. Vishninam Vasudevosmi. Pandavanam Dhananjaya. Pandavanam Dhananjaya. Muninam api aham Vyasaha. Muninam apyaham Vyasaha. Kavinam Usana Kavihi. Kavinam Usana Kavihi. Vishninam Vasudevosmi.
Krishnam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Muninam apyaham Vyasaha.
Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi.
Kavinam Usana Kavihi. Krishnam Vasudevosmi.
Everyone is done? Okay, I'm going to repeat. Vrishninam Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam Dhananjaya.
Pandavanam Dhananjayah.
Muninamapyaham Vyasa.
Muninamapyaham Vyasaha.
Kavinamusana Kavihi.
Kavinamushana Kavihi. All right. Translation of the distant. Everybody has your book. What is the page number?
88.
8.
Thank you. Of the descendants of Rishni, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers, I am Ushana. So now again, 4 categories. One is among Vrishnis, among Pandavas, among sages, and among great thinkers or kavis. Krishna is again classifying or finding himself or portraying himself how he is the opulence in each of these 4 categories. The first one is among Vrishnis. Who are Vrishnis? So go to page number in your book. If you go to page number, what is the page number? I think this has no page number. Yeah, page number 2. Everybody has the book with you? So open page number 2. There, if you see in the lower box, you can see how the first name there is Vrishni. Do you all see that? It's actually showing Krishna's dynasty. How do you pronounce that? Dynasty or dynasty? What do you pronounce? How do you pronounce it?
Dynasty.
Dynasty. So it is Krishna's dynasty and Krishna's how ancestral history. So the original ancestors, first ancestor of Krishna's dynasty is Vrishni. And if you see after Vrishni, there are many descendants. You know what descendants are? Anish, what is the meaning of descendants? You have the book with you, Anish?
It's like your relatives that come after you. Like
Yeah, you have the book with you, Anish? Okay, thank you. So, among the many descendants after a few generations, next person they're showing is Surasena. And Surasena has 9 other sons, 4 other daughters, and one of their son was Vasudeva. You see that? Vasudeva in the center. So the Vasudeva is different from the words we are seeing. It's Vasudeva. Today's words we're talking about Rishni Nam Vasudevos. But here it is Vasudeva. There's a distinction between Vasudeva and Vasudeva. Vasudeva is the son of Surasena. And as the son of Vasudeva, Krishna is also called Vasudeva. That's why if you see, son of Vasudeva and Devaki is Subhadra and Krishna. You see to the right, Vasudeva has 2 wives, Rohini and Devaki. From Devaki, he gets Krishna and Subhadra. Okay, so Krishna is also referred to as Vasudeva because he's the son of Vasudeva. And he also belongs to the Vrishni dynasty. So among all the people, the descendants of the Vrishni dynasty, Krishna is saying, I am the opulent. Obviously, he is himself opulent and therefore he's saying, Vrishni Nam Vasudevosmi. He's not telling Krishna, but he's saying he's referring to him as Vasudeva. So Krishna loves to be referred by his devotees' names very much. For example, he is called Devaki Nandan, Yashoda Nandan. For example, when today Vedang's song was Yashomati Nandana. What does it mean? O son of Yashomati or Yashodha. Nandan means son. So, O son of Yashoda. Devaki Nandan. Vasudeva. So, these are all with relation to his devotees. So, Vasudeva indicates the son of Vasudeva. And he's saying, among the Vrishnis, I am the topmost, who is Vasudeva. Everyone clear? So many points we learned today. One is Krishna belongs to Vrishni dynasty. Vrishni's descendants all the way come to Surasena. Surasena's son is Vasudeva. Vasudeva's son is Krishna. Therefore, is also called as Vasudeva. You have the family tree here for us to remember. Okay? Next. What is the next part of the verse? Talking about Pandavas. Among Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Now one might say, why only Arjuna? There are so many Pandavas. How many Pandavas are there? 100? 5. Wow, everybody knows that. Yes. Who are they? Can somebody list the name of the Pandavas? Why is it taking so long for this?
I remember these two: Arjuna, Bhima,
Nakula,
Nakula.
Nakula Sahadeva. Oldest one? Yeah, eldest one.
Yeah.
Yudhishthira.
Yudhishthira. Write down in your book. You have space in your verse after the verse, right? Behind. So make some extra space or in the blank space, not on the lines. Lines you can use for homework. But in page 91, you can write on the peacock feather above, or on the left side, KK to 6th graders, you can use to write the information. That page is anyways not for your assignment. You can write Pandavas are Yudhishthira, the oldest, the eldest. Bhima, second eldest. Arjuna, third. Nakula and Sahadeva, last two. So those are Pandavas. And among Pandavas, Krishna is saying, he is Arjuna. What does that mean? Does it mean that other Pandavas were not Krishna? Of course, yes. That's what he's saying. He's saying, among the Pandavas who are Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, and Sahadev, among them, Arjun was an archer par excellence. What does it mean, par excellence?
Like really good at it.
Really good at it. That means there's no one. Par excellence, meaning equivalent to X being excellent. Right? On par with excellence. He's as good as excellent. That means no one is beyond him. And on top of it, I mean, whenever there is a great quality, that is again Krishna himself, right? So because of Arjuna's excellence in archery, and Krishna says, I am the strength of the powerful, and I am the art of the artists, I am the talent of the talented. So obviously, now when Arjuna is equivalent to excellent archery, that means Krishna is there. At the same time, Arjuna is also top devotee and dearest friend. So many qualifications Arjuna has. He's not only an archer par excellence, he's a top devotee and also the best friend of Arjuna. Arjuna is unique in that he's not only the best friend, he's also top devotee. And what makes a devotee top devotee? Sanvi?
Like being close to Krishna.
Being close to Krishna,
Being
even
close to Krishna as in
let's see. Being close to Krishna, that's a very good point you made. Let's see how being close to somebody can make us other. For example, if you see, in Ganga is very purifying. We all know that, right? The river Ganga. But within river Ganga, there are these alligators and crocodiles which are actually trying to destroy, or I don't know if I can take that example. I'll forget about that example, something which is more practical. I have Tulsi plant at my home, okay? But on this Tulsi plants, and Tulsi is very sacred. You all know that, right? Tulsi plant, and it's very dear to Lord Krishna. But this Tulsi plant has bugs on it, which is destroying the plant. Now, the bug is close to Tulsi. Does it mean that it is a devotee of Tulsi? Does it mean it is worshipping Tulsi? So, this is an indication that just being close cannot make us a devotee. It depends upon our consciousness, our intentions. For example, Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was 24 hours thinking about Krishna. Do you all know that pastime where Prahalad was his son and he was always thinking about Krishna? Why? To find him and to kill him. So now Hiranyakashipu's consciousness was full of Krishna. Now does that make him a devotee? The bug on the Tulsi plant is so close, even closer to anyone else. Does it make it a devotee? Now tell me what is the devotee definition. Top devotee.
Being close to Krishna, but like in a positive way.
So now how is it applicable to Arjuna? Tell me in practical how you see Arjuna being the top devotee.
Because Arjuna is Krishna's like best friend, and like not only in proximity,
What
but
is the actions he did?
by,
That's more important, right? What was his action? What is his consciousness?
He was like, whenever there was like a struggle that he faced, like he would always choose Krishna in those situations.
It was what? He would always what?
Choose Krishna, like what?
Choose Krishna. Yeah, choosing Krishna. After choosing, what did he do? He chose Krishna. Then what? He chose Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He surrendered to him. He chose him as his charioteer. Then what did he do? Others now, Veda. What did you do? Yes, he chose Krishna. He's close to Krishna now on the same chariot. Now, how did it make him a top devotee?
He asked for like Krishna's advice and he like used
Asked, yes, very good. One step further. Yes, very nice. Now he chose Krishna. He asked Krishna. Now next, yes, Sri Ram.
You know that he was a devotee because in his greatest time of need, he still believed in and followed Krishna.
Followed Krishna. See, one is being close to him, asking him, and then following the instructions. Just because you're always spending time with your tennis coach, does it make you a tennis expert? Just because you're always close to a dance teacher, does it make you a dancer, expert in dancing? You might be very close, you might be loving, talking, but if you don't follow all that it takes to become a dancer, all that it takes to become a tennis player, how does it make you an expert in that? And top devotee, a devotee means a top devotee becomes a top devotee because of being close, because of being aligned and following the instructions. That is a devotee. Key point is a devotee follows the instructions. And that's why Krishna is saying, among Pandavas, of course, all the other Pandavas also followed the instructions, but Arjuna was top notch. He was always with Krishna. He was always Krishna conscious. He chose Krishna. Like for example, Sanjay said choosing Krishna, being close to him. Well, how did he prove that? Remember when at the time of Kurukshetra war, Krishna, and when the war was inevitable, then Krishna also had his own kingdom, had his own army. So now both Pandavas and Kauravas had to ask Krishna also for that, because the entire globe, entire countries on the whole globe, different kingdoms were going to participate in this war. It was like a universal war for the entire globe. So different kingdoms had to take sides. So now Kauravas representative Duryodhana went to Krishna, and Pandavas as a representative of Pandavas, Arjuna also went to Krishna. So when they both went to Krishna at the same time, they noticed that Krishna was lying on the bed and resting. So almost at the same time, Duryodhana enters the room first, but then he sees Krishna lying down on the bed. And then there were two chairs, one at the head of Krishna, at the foot side of Krishna, and the head side of Krishna. So Duryodhana chooses not to sit at the foot side of Krishna. He thinks, why should I sit at the feet of Krishna? I'm going to sit towards the head. So he goes and sits towards on the chair which is toward the head of Krishna. And then Arjuna chooses to sit at the feet of Krishna. Krishna, after resting, he opens his eyes, and the first glance, who does he see? Based on the positioning of the two seats, who do you think he saw first?
Arjuna.
Arjuna. Why Arjuna?
Because when he sits up, because he's already facing the foot side, he sits up and he sees Arjuna.
Very nice. So he saw Arjuna, and then later he saw Duryodhana too. Now, both of them have come for the same reason, asking for help for Krishna, right? Now, he asks, inquires, what did you all come here for? And then they say, oh, now this ghastly war is going to happen and we need your help. Then Krishna says, I have my kingdom and I have myself. I have my army and myself. Between me and my army, you both can choose anything you want. And he gives first option to whom? Guess. Veda?
Duryodhana?
Arjuna.
Arjuna.
He gives to Arjuna because you saw Arjuna first. Fair, right? Go where do you see first? And then do you guess what Arjuna chose? There are two options. Choose Krishna or Krishna's army. What do you choose? What did Arjuna choose?
Krishna.
Krishna. And that's where all of your points about choosing Krishna, a devotee chooses Krishna. comes. Next point. He was with Krishna. What was the next point you all told? Asking advice for Krishna. Well, he's choosing Krishna, then asking advice for Krishna. The battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna was confused, looking at the army on both the sides, he was so, what do you say? What is the word? What happened to Arjuna at that time? When he saw all these army, his cousins, his grandfather, his own guru. What happened to him? What happened? What was the situation? Anybody who didn't talk at all till now? Can you all answer, please? Nishka, do you have an answer? You want to say what was Arjuna's mood when he asked Krishna to take me to the sent to the battlefield, and he saw his own cousins, his own uncles, his own grandfather, and his guru on the opposite side. What was his mood?
He felt like he didn't want to fight with his own family.
He did not want to fight with his own family. He was, what was the word? What is that word that we use?
Overwhelmed?
Overwhelmed. And he started losing control of himself because he was like baffled. He was like, what is happening here? Why am I here for? What am I fighting here for? He was scared. His mouth was getting dry. He was confused. He was disoriented, overwhelmed with, he was anxious, anxiety, everything. And then, as somebody said, he asked advice from Krishna. So he chose Krishna, he asked advice, and finally, when Krishna said, hey Arjuna, you're crying for these people? These people have already been destroyed by me in this battlefield of Kurukshetra. They've already been destroyed. Now you choose whether you want to kill them as my instrument, as my follower, or you choose to leave the battle. It's up to you. And then, hearing Krishna's instructions carefully, Arjuna chose to fight the battle. He did not run away. And then he followed the instructions of Krishna and fought the battle. So 3 points make us a devotee. Choosing Krishna, asking Krishna, and following Krishna. So that's good that we all concluded that point about why Arjuna is the greatest among the Pandavas. Next, he's talking about sages. Among sages, who is the greatest sage, or why is Krishna choosing Vedavyas as the sage? Now, Vedavyas is a great sage and he is non-different from Krishna. This is a point for you all to note down. He is called literary incarnation of Krishna. Okay? He's called literary incarnation of Krishna. Note it down, please. So he's not different from Krishna. So among all the sages, actually we already talked about how he's also Narada. Remember in previous verses, we talked about how he is great sage among sages. We talked about among munis and sages. We discussed other characters also. Again, here Krishna is emphasizing the position of Vedavyas as to how he is the Vedavyas among the sages. And he is, and Vedavyas' speciality is he compiled the Vedas and wrote many scriptures for the welfare of people. He compiled the Vedas, he wrote the Puranas, Bhagavata Purana, Matsya Purana, Garuda Purana, Kurma Purana, so many Puranas. 18 Puranas. Is it how many Puranas? I think it's 12 Puranas, sorry. So he compiled the 18 Puranas, it's not 12, it's 18 Puranas, and he compiled the Vedas and categorized them into 4 groups. Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharvana Veda. And which Veda is Krishna among the Vedas? Do you all remember?
Samaveda?
And why is it so? Because it has prayers glorifying the Lord. Right? It's all about glorification of the Lord. So that's about Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva, 4 important points. One is he is literary incarnation of Lord Krishna. He is the compiler of Vedas. He is the compiler of the Puranas. And what else? That's all, 3 points. Okay? 3 points about Vyasadeva you should never forget. Composer of Vedas and Puranas, and he's non-different from Krishna. They're therefore called. Okay, there are 2 names. There's another name for Krishna for Vyasadeva called Badarayan or Krishna Dvaipayan. These 2 are the names of Vyasadeva. So 4 points. One is he is literary incarnation of Krishna. He's the compiler of the Vedas. He's the compiler of the composer of Puranas. And his other names are Badarayan and Krishna Dvaipayan. Okay. Now comes the last section of this verse, today's verse. He is also among the kavis or the great thinkers uh, or the expert of ethics. Ethics meaning morals and values, right? What does ethic mean? Trying to say ethic. Moral principles that govern a person's behavior or conducting of an activity. That's called an ethic. So among the expert of ethics or among those who is a great thinker is this Kavi called Ushana. Ushana's other name is Shukracharya. Are you all writing it down? Ushana's other name is Shukracharya. And Shukracharya is a sage, and look at his magnanimity and look at his selflessness and look at his greatness. He was compassionate to accept the demons as his disciples. You know, there are devas and there are devatas and demons, right? The demoniac and the divine. So there are devatas headed by Indra, and there are asuras headed by, I don't know who the topmost asura is, but asuras and devas are there. So among who is the king of Dev? Who was the priest or who was the guru of Devatas? Do you all remember? It came in one of the verses, boys and girls. There's so much information we are covering in all these verses, and you all are just coming and going. You're not paying attention. Isn't it Brihaspati? In one of the verses, Brihaspati came, right? He is the sage Brihaspati. Sage Brihaspati is the one who actually is the guru of all the Devatas. Now, guru of all the demons is Shukracharya. Can you all remember a pastime where Shukracharya was mentioned? Where his position? Yes, Supreet.
In the Vamanadeva pastime.
Yes. Can you tell us what in Vamanadeva pastime Shukracharya's role was?
So when Vamanadev came as like disguised as
Mhm.
a normal person or like a dwarf,
Mhm.
so Shukracharya was the one who was warning Bali Maharaj that there's something going on and that this boy is not normal. And then Bali Maharaj ignored him.
Mhm. Yes. Bali Maharaj ignored him, and then Shukracharya, to the extent of protecting his disciple, he gets inside that kamandal, that kettle, or the what do you call the water thing that they hold in their hands, the sages, right? So generally, whenever a great personality visits our home, the Sanatan practice is to wash their feet, worshipable feet, and take the water that was washed their feet and put it on the head as a purifying agent for the person who is washing the feet. So when Vamandev came to the kingdom of or to the palace of what is his name? Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj was going to wash the feet of Vamandev despite his guru warning him. But Guru was so protective of his disciples, so he enters into the kettle of that water and blocks the flow of water. And then what happens? Vamandev, knowing that Shukracharya is trying to protect his disciple, he pokes that hole of the kettle with a twig, because of which Shukracharya becomes blindfold. One of his eye becomes blind. Again, that's all pastime. You might be wondering, why was this man who was opposing Krishna is being talked as greatest person, or why is Krishna referring to him as one of the opulents? Because we all know Krishna is everywhere. That bottom line fact we all have to remember. Krishna is everywhere. He's there in the dirtiest of the dirty things, is there in the topmost things, but doesn't mean that we recognize Krishna as those things. Krishna is there to facilitate this material nature, but we should not associate Krishna as those negative things or those negative qualities. He is existing in all those places because Creation happens through him, and he is the cause of all causes. So here Shukracharya is actually among all the great thinkers, and he's telling that he is Shukracharya Ushana. Ushana is the other name for Shukracharya. So that's about today's verse. Now let's go back to our exercises, activities, and read the questions. Okay. Now let's see. What qualities make Krishna a divine and inspirational figure? How does understanding Krishna's presence help us in our daily lives? I think this is similar to what we already answered. Why is Arjuna considered a hero among the Pandavas? How can this qualities of bravery and dedication inspire us? I want you all to summarize this question and write the answer based on what we already discussed about Arjuna. That is for the second question. The third question is, what is Vyasa known for and why is his wisdom important? How can we seek and appreciate wisdom in our lives? So, question 2 and 3, I'm expecting answer from all of you in detail, bullet points wise. Can everyone do that or is it hard? I asked a very simple question. For that also, I have to stare at the screen. Okay.
I can do it.
Thank you. I see Tanvi raised your hand and Sriman voiced up, but others are just yes. Okay, good. Okay, we have 4 more minutes. Come on, give me some nice ideas to engage this 4 minutes in a fun way. You all know that there's going to be an end of the year exam, right? On this Krishna is everywhere theme. It's going to be multiple choice. It's going to be fill up the blanks. It's going to be essay writing, and it's going to be mid-May. Do you all know that? And then we are going to give you a certificate and also graduate you from this Krishna is everywhere theme, graduating from the theme, not from a year, because you'll all be moving as a group to the next year's theme, which is a different theme. So for you all to graduate from this with this theme, we have to pass the essay, small short answers, fill up the blanks, and multiple choice answers. It's going to be a half hour or 45-minute exam during. Let me choose the date right now so that you all can plan accordingly. For high schoolers, what do you all think? When does it work? Where is my calendar?
I'd say maybe like after AP exams for us.
I
Like,
need the date. Can you all tell me which week? So is it when will the AP exams be done?
It ends on May 16th.
How about
Yeah.
you, Suprit? Suprit is a different state. Suprit, how
yeah,
about you?
but it's the same. It's like national wide, so it's
May
nationwide.
16th.
So
Oh, nice. So how about May 18th?
Auntie, I graduate on May 18th. Can we do like
Oh, yeah. No. Then we'll definitely not conflict with that. Okay. How about, I don't know, after May 18th, you all will be available to, I don't even know if you'll have time to see me because you all are like, I'm done with school. I'm done with Gita wise. I want to take a break. You all choose the time. When do you all want to do? Which day? May 25th? No, actually, that's long weekend, Memorial Day weekend. So that won't work. When do we do? May 11th? See, now this is not going to be like a very tough exam. I'm not going to grade you all, and it's not like an AP exam. So I think we should do May 11th. Huh? And now that I'm telling you March 1st, this is March 2nd. So yeah, it's just skimming through this whole book and also listening to the lectures that I have posted on YouTube. I have sessions for every verse. So I might be asking from what we discussed in the class. Like, for example, today we talked about Arjuna, we talked about Krishna as Vasudeva. So all those detailed questions are there, so which I might ask. So listening to that and reading through this book, I'm going to give you all questions. Not too deep questions from my videos. Most of the questions will be from, okay, among sages, where is Krishna? Among what is them? So many other things I see, I keep forgetting. Among the animals, beasts, what is he? Among elephants, who is he? Like that. Or Airavata. Who Airavata represents which animal? Like that. What do you think, Anish? Doable May 11th? How many of you think May 11th is doable? Raise your hand. Everyone? Oh, nice. So shall we stick to May 11th? 10 a.m.? Everyone agreed? Okay. So can somebody do a newsletter or send a reminder or a note in the group today saying that we have discussed for graduating and graduating from the theme Krishna is everywhere. We will be having a test on May 11th, which will be multiple choice, fill up the blanks and short answers based on the theme, based on this book and based on the uh, live sessions on YouTube. Sanvi, can you do that for me, beta?
Yeah, I can.
All right, then we are 11 now. Thank you all for joining.